Hello, everyone, and welcome to A Critical Look. This is where we talk about stuff. And today we're talking about Joyner Lucas versus Tory Lanez, the beef. Who won, in our opinions? That's what we're talking about. So, just to let you know going in, we regular folk. We not necessarily the super scholars of anything in life. We're just going to share our thoughts on what we think. So, for all you Joyner Lucas fans out there coming into this that are going to call me stupid and stuff, my one rule for y'all is spell. Just spell. Like, cuz is C-U-Z. Don't put, just don't do stupid spelling. If you're going to call me stupid, spell correctly. That's my only request. I digress. We're here to give our opinions on this. They call me stupid always with dumb spelling. Like, nobody ever calls me stupid with good spelling.
I just wanted to know, has this happened? Like, you feel so passionate about this right now.
I don't know. It bothers me. Just do it with good spelling. But it never does. With good spelling, it's often good critiques. So maybe there's a correlation. Anyway, and the last time I said anything bad about Joyner, they were mad at me. And Joyner's fans pretty loyal. I respect the loyalty of a Joyner fan, but let's talk about this beef is ultimately what we're here to do today. Before we jump in, special thanks to the patrons Ismail Gadamsi, Super Old School 1994, Chris Prado, and Lindell Williams. We'll talk a bit about that at the end. I think we're going to come in and preface the beef a bit and then talk about each song and then sum it up at the end. That's how we're going to go today. But before that, let's talk about rap beefs of this nature. This is an interesting situation. So, Chris, tell the story of how it came to be.
So, from what I understand, Tory was doing a live stream, and somebody on the live stream asked him, who do you think you're a better rapper than or whatnot? And again, from what I understand, he name drops Joyner, Kendrick, and J. Cole. And right after that, Joyner kind of responds on Twitter like, "You think you're better than me, such and such, let's get at it. Let's do it. Let's have let's beef it out or whatever."
One of the claims is on the same beat. You couldn't beat me if we were on the same beat. Whatever.
And then right after Joyner dropped that tweet, Tory releases his freestyle on "Lucky You," which is the song from
so now let's
Eminem's
talk.
"Kamikaze."
Before we go into that, we like to always contextualize how connected we are to the different artists that we talk about, right? Because, it's important. What fan are you of going into it? Even so, all y'all on Team Joyner, if you were hardcore Joyner Lucas fans before going into the beef, you're probably going to have a bias towards Joyner Lucas, and the same thing to all the Tory Lanez fans, which is totally cool. My biases are like this. I know Joyner Lucas to be a very lyrical, miracle type rapper who goes in. I know he's really good at dichotomy story songs. And he's fast, and he did a lot of remixes, and a lot of his stuff's apparently freestyles. I don't mean to say that they're not freestyles. I just question sometimes how everybody's doing freestyles this day. I'm just, okay, if they're all freestyles, like all of them, you just off the top, every last one of these things that we put the word freestyle on, you didn't have these lines written down 8 years ago and happened to pop into your head today. I'm not trying to be dismissive.
Quick tangent just for that. I had a discussion with a buddy of mine who raps as well, and I was claiming the stance of a freestyle is you walk into my house, you drop a beat, and we're just spinning whatever comes to the top of our head. And he was on the fence of yeah, but what if I wrote something 8 months ago, I come in the house, I put on a random beat, but I can fit my written to a beat.
Then it's not a freestyle.
Right? So I think that there needs to be a little bit of a discussion of what a freestyle is nowadays.
There's no discussion.
Well, hold on, because there's been interviews. I've seen some interviews with some famous artists who are they do spit a freestyle on this track or whatever, and I'm not going to name any of them, but there was one rapper who was like, "Oh, I ain't going to spit a freestyle. I'm just going to spit a written on this beat."
All respect for that guy. That guy's cool.
Right.
But I'm talking about the ones that, there's no conversation. You're either spitting a written or you're spitting a freestyle. And if you are a rapper, your job should be, part of that description is take any verse you've ever written and be able to repurpose it on any beat because you're a fucking rapper. That's what you do.
But is that a freestyle?
It's not a freestyle.
Okay.
A freestyle is off the top. A freestyle would be if all of a sudden I started rapping and I'm rapping about the color of my table.
Right.
I'm not saying that has to be insignificant. You can have, but I'm saying it doesn't have to be about what's around the room. That was a bad example I used. But it has to be stuff that you haven't previously written. It has to be You are thinking this up now as you're going.
You know what it is? I think that the way I define it, just for my own purpose, is if you don't stumble in a freestyle and you're hitting every single note on point, it's probably a written to me. Like, for my own thing, it's probably a written.
I don't want to say that because I know that there are plenty of rappers.
Oh, not to discredit them.
No, I mean, there are plenty of rappers like Biggie who could just freestyle songs. So I don't want to say that they're not.
Right.
And maybe both Tory Lanez and Joyner Lucas, in this example, all 4 of these songs are actually freestyles. And if that's the case, that's cool. But what I think happened is that they just wrote shit down and, like, on a piece of paper in a freestyle-esque kind of way and read that paper in the booth till it sounded good. That's my thoughts. I don't have any proof. This is just what I believe took place. Because this seems so orchestrated, this battle rap scenario. It almost seems like they talked a little bit ahead of time and everything that followed is like is based on like a plan in order to make this a hot beef to give both these guys a little bit of hype.
Well, I do actually have a theory on that agrees with it. Are we gonna start talking about the tracks though?
I mean, we could. I mean, just to say, I never heard of Tory Lanez really before this. He's been a guy that I've just kind of avoided a little bit because he seemed like an R&B type, and I'm just usually not so down for that.
I've been bumping Tory for I personally haven't been bumping Tory, but Tory's been in my circle of friends group for the last 2 years.
That's fair. I mean, I know he's from Canada, so go Team Canada.
Yep.
And
Toronto.
Something about rap beefs that I think used to matter is about where people are from. Maybe it's not supposed to matter, but like if we got a Canadian going against a U.S. dude, let's go, as Canadians, some part of you should have some loyalty to Tory in this, regardless. It should just be part of your decision-making, because I believe that's hip-hop. That's just my thoughts if we're talking rap beefs. You know, where's the loyalty at, Canadians? Tory Lanez is us. You know, him succeeding in a thing like this brings more prominence.
We have a Drake and a Justin Bieber.
That's irrelevant.
How is that irrelevant?
What, they're enough?
I'm not saying they're enough,
but they're alone?
Part of this beef and part of this, you know, if we're going to get into it, Joyner does kind of call Tory a knockoff Drake.
So that's a diss. Fine.
I know that it's a diss, but I'm saying, like, why do I as a Canadian have to pay my loyalty to Tory just because I'm Canadian when I can pay my loyalty to Drake and have the same type of feel?
In response, I'd say go learn about, like, paying, like, why do you cheer for Team Canada in the Olympics?
I don't, because I don't care for Olympics. So me as a person, I'm saying.
Why do you cheer for the Montreal Canadiens over another team? Why do you cheer for home teams ever?
I don't understand that, because I don't. I'm sorry.
But the fact is that doesn't make you right. That just makes it that you don't understand it. So I'm going to say that I would say go get yourself more cultured and find some home-based loyalty. That would be my response. I'm not saying that you have to love Joyner more or love Tory more because he's Canadian, but I'm saying you shouldn't be shitting on the guy uniformly right away, you know, or whatever.
Absolutely.
You shouldn't blindly be going into this. To me, this is a fucking spectacle. This is no different than a fucking hockey game, right? Anybody that takes it more seriously than that, in my opinion, would be possibly the same kind of person that will use spelling typos when they make fun of me in the comments, which is okay. I love your comments, and so does the Google algorithm on YouTube, and it's so good. Anyway, I'm not trying to talk shit or anything. I'm just saying, like, to me, it's like I saw some shit, and it's like, yo, if it comes down to it, why does it matter? Because the more Canadians that look good, the more Canada's taken seriously. You think Drake's enough to... Drake doesn't make us look serious. Having a guy go against Joyner Lucas and win, now that makes Canada look good.
I get that.
So
part.
you as a Canadian are reflective of that. Therefore, if you want to watch a Canadian get bodied, it's like furthering the Canadians just get bodied stereotype versus watching the triumphant Canadian take out the fucking institution of an American rapper. So you want to talk about it, that's why it matters. This shit's maybe a little symbolic. Maybe we should be playing Team Canada on hip-hop more as Canadians and showing that we can compete at an international level, that we do have a culture, a purpose to it, that we do have great talent. So that's why it matters to me. Now, does that make Tory better than Joyner? No. It's just something that I think should be taken into consideration at the very start of this conversation. That's at least what I thought going into it, because that's the truth. But really, we got to give some quick loves. In the comments below, you'll find a link to this podcast, Haggis and Mash. And dude there, actually is the one who told me that this was happening. He like Instagrammed me the original Lucky You song that got me all curious about his beef. So because of awesome people like him, I was able to be aware of this situation in a timely fashion. But yeah, I think we can get into it and start talking about these tracks. Why don't we talk about the Lucky You freestyle?
Offended me, niggas is talking, but no one offended me. Niggas know what the result of the enemy. Niggas won't know how to find what they meant to be.
I'm gonna come in and say that I thought Tory did a very excellent job rapping on this song. I mean, straight up, if you really compare what he did against what Joyner did on Lucky You, which is kind of what I guess Joyner was going for. So he took a song he did next to Eminem. So I guess assumedly one of his best performances, you know, and then he went on that beat, which in my opinion, it takes balls.
But not just the beat. He also did the Joyner flow.
Excellently.
And then he did it better than him.
I don't know about better than him, but I would say better than... I don't know if I like which I like better in terms of Lucky You, right? Because Lucky You had a certain swagger and a point to the song and shit, whereas this song is just literally about how Tory Lanez can compete in the game, you know? How he's fucking real. And I don't want to go through all of the lines lyric by lyric because I think that both these guys added a lot of filler, and that part of this battle wasn't just taking shots and disses, but flaring technique. And that's what I thought was cool about this, because you have Tory rapping in a way that makes me want to go fucking put on a Tory Lanez album. I never thought I'd be saying that, but he ripped that shit, like right at the beginning. I got a million flows. I can go silly with those. I got a pucker rocket down the cock and chop a pucker that really impose, you know? Like, okay, and you're right, that's the Joyner flow. Did he do it better? I don't know, but prior to this, I didn't even think that he was capable of lyrical shit. You know, capable of flows coming in like this.
Okay, so I just want to give some context to a little bit of my opinions and my points. I've been updating myself since this has been happening. I've been listening to podcasts and interviews and like all these things on the information. So I kind of already may have some biased opinions already developed. When I say that Tory did a better thing than Joyner on Lucky You, I'm saying that I'm not saying that he did a better Joyner, of course.
But
he did go faster. He did do the double time thing quicker. He because I went back and listened to Lucky You verse, like the actual song on Kamikaze, and I prefer Tory in this sense.
That's completely fair. I don't know. Like, I mean, Joyner was fine, in my opinion, Lucky You. I thought he was fucking hype. I thought the hook he brought in was a banger on Lucky You. I thought the lyrics were fine, and he actually had a lot to say in that track, you know, and he was really pushing a narrative.
But I think that that's part of being next to Eminem, though. Like, he had something, he had to have something to say.
Well, I mean, but that's the kind of rapper Joyner is. He always has something to say,
okay,
and that's fine. And I do think that in this case, Tory had something to say. He was basically proving that he can also be lyrical and proving how, you know, how he's serious and shit. And he does come in with a really double time thing. And I don't feel like Tory was like going super all in or super personal on him in this track. It was really kind of pointing out that he can floss, and he establishes that point. Like, he basically empirically, in terms of like what hit him with a mini Mac, is he really got a bat that I gotta hit him with a bigger gap. Matter of fact, riddle me that. I'm literally at the spot where he said he'd be at, but where is he at? Like, really, if you're really telling me that, like, I am prepared to hit him with a felony act. You know, it's kind of pointing out that when push comes to shove, I'm here, I'm ready. He said a bunch of shit. Boom, track's ready. You know, in a literal sense, me and my boys will take you out. I don't know anything about the actual gangster status of either of these guys.
It's also the biggest part of the beef is too that Tory has never, as far as I'm concerned, Tory's never done this. A lot of the Tory that we've gotten so far, or at least I've been associated with, is a lot of Drake-esque, a lot of love songs, a lot of R&B singing. So part of that was Tory kind of had this like, y'all don't think I can rap because I choose not to. But that was, and now he's like proving that he can do it.
And I think he did an excellent job proving that point. Like, all I can say is, yo, I can't wait for what Joyner does next, was my thoughts at this point. I'm like, this is good. I'm like, I'm as excited for this as Eminem MGK. This is very nice. And I got really hyped up. So I don't know that I want to talk a lot more about the lyrics on it, because it was really just him being flossy without really going in deep or attacking, except for maybe the part where he came up to the challenge right away. But probably expecting maybe that Joyner's going to bail out or something.
Right.
And I don't know, but it's like, look, I did it. Now where you at? It's almost like a calling him out. Like it's almost, he's warming up here is what I'm feeling like. But I also feel like he had a point to prove that he can rapidy rap. He can be the lyrical miracle, and he pulled that shit off. So like, I don't need to give this a grade. I mean, I could.
I gave the song a 4.
I would probably give it like a. I don't care about the grade. I think he did what he came to do, and it made me interested in the song. I think that's the most important part, and I was really excited. I mean, it's over fucking Lucky You, and he's mocking flows and stuff. So as far as rap disses go, I'm giving this like a 4.5. I really liked it. I thought. Mostly the shock value of, holy shit, look at Tory Lanez. I wanted to be like a dick. I wanted to be like, go fuck yourself when I saw the audacity of this. But nah, man, I was smiling when I'm done. And I'm like, yeah, Tory, I can't even wait to see your response to the response, which makes this awesome. Anyway, do you have more to comment on this one?
No. My comments flow to the next track.
All right. On that note, we can talk about how Joyner took us and got Litty.
Tory, every Tuesday, every Thursday, Tory, it's to be a motherfucking anniversary, Tory, you done fucked up.
This is a disclaimer. I think Joyner's kind of corny here. So it's hard for me to take him mad serious in terms of a bars for bars off with like, for a bars for bars with Tory, because Joyner here is like look at how he starts it. What's up with you R&B trying to turn rappers and trappers? I don't know. He said he could rap better than you. You said challenge him. So he did.
But it's weird for him to say that, and especially when like a lot of music nowadays kind of has an R&B type feel to it, even if it is like trap music, a lot of the auto-tune singing, a lot of like just the emotionalness behind it and stuff, it feels like an evolved version of R&B.
Fair. It's just more of a weird place to start.
Well, that's what Tory's considered as. You have to understand that. Like
I do understand that. Okay. I'm saying the weird place to start. If anything, the fact that Tory can pull off that song shows he's capable of a multi-lane career if he wants it, and he chooses this shit. So he chooses to make the music he wants, but he can be whatever he wants, and he's got multiple flows, and he can go fast, and that's what he proved on the last track. Mm-hmm. So the first thing that Joyner's response is, so like Tory's first thing is, I got many flows, and I got missiles, I'm coming for you, and you can't stop me because I'm capable of this. And then his first response is, why do you think you can come into my lane? Stay in your lane, bro. You sound like Parappa the Rapper. That was a good one. He does actually a little bit sound like Parappa the Rapper, and I actually enjoyed that lyric. But that's, you know what? He just should have started with, bro, you sound like Parappa the Rapper. I'm looking down when you talk to me. The whole song starts better at that point. That's the problem with the Joyner verse, is he has these lines that are really fucking... So the cool thing about the last song from Tory is that, like, it was consistent the whole way through, and it was fine. This one, it's like super hype and super corny. That's what we're getting from Joyner, line to line, flipping through those two vibes at points, you know?
So my thing is, this is already kind of looking like the Eminem MGK already. And the reason why I say that is because Tory made a better diss track. Joyner just made an actual track. He's got 2 choruses. He's got 2 verses. It's the MGK effect. MGK made a better song, Rap Devil, but Eminem killed him with Kill Shot, and it was a better diss track. So in terms of dissing each other and stuff, I feel like Litty Freestyle is more of like a marketing move more than coming at Tory. It's more like, here's my track, here's what I can do. I can come at you on a song with this and this, but it takes away the essence of battling.
Oh, but I mean, like, check it. You got some hits, but you're lacking swagger. I'm still in the shit, bitch, so that doesn't matter. Don't call me a kid. I'm your poppy and dada. You get splattered and flat, and you and Trippy better have some backup. I mean, if we really look at what he's saying there is, yeah, you're more successful than I am, but he does it better than MGK did. And whatever, but at the end of the day, I'm harder than you. That's what he's trying to convey. I'm more real. You're more famous.
I mean, he claims that, but then he associates himself with Tekashi 6ix9ine.
We're not there yet. Way to make sure what the fuck is you drinking? I brought the tsunami, you fuckers are sinking. I mean, okay, that's fine. It's not great. It's just fine. So Joyner's flow is cool, but like you gotta understand, as far as my perspective goes, Tory went ahead and done some crazy shit. Mm-hmm. Now, you know what Joyner could have done? That would have fucked my head up and just shut this game down? everything that he's doing, but like on a melody auto-tune. Had Joyner come in on that and done everything he did, but like with some melody auto-tune shit that was like next level, that would have been like hats off to Joyner. He bar for bar murked him in his own fucking style. But that's not really what happened. We had Tory come in and show that he's capable of something more, and it was interesting. It didn't really go in. It was just more about the flow. And then he comes in here and does his flows, his normal ass flows. As far as I've ever heard Joyner, he sounds kind of like this. Any one of his diss songs kind of sounds like this. So it doesn't really, there's no extra passion here, in my opinion. Fine, he's talented, he's running through. Take all that auto-tune back to T-Pain. I swear you R&B rappers is strange. You okay, but you ain't nobody favorite. You aight, but you ain't nobody major. I mean, maybe. I don't know how famous Tory Lanez is, but it's weird coming from Joyner, who's definitely not that famous to me. So it's like now we're coming into like, are you trying to like take shots at a guy who's bigger than you by trying to make him sound like he's less bigger than you? That's, I think, the strategy Joyner's going with these bars, which isn't the best look in my opinion. It doesn't make me look at Joyner, and it doesn't instill confidence in his.
I still think that Joyner's probably power tripping over the fact that Eminem signed him, like that, like.
Or co-signed him?
Well, whatever. Eminem on the interview, the 4-part Sway interview, was like, "Oh, I love Joyner. I happened to be at his show, and like everything he just did like blew my mind. So like I had to work with him and shit."
Yeah,
so
it's a co-sign.
I feel like, yeah, okay, so right. So I feel like because Eminem co-signs Joyner and Eminem has this superhero rapidy stardom power, I feel like Joyner's kind of like banking on that. Like,
well, I mean,
much as he might not be super famous, but he's like, listen, I'm accepted by one of the greatest rappers in the world. Who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying?
I get all that. But he kind of then, if he had said that, you'd be really right. If he's like,
but he did on the last one. He did. They compare me to M. They compare you to Iggy.
Later on, but that's not what that bar is.
It's the same thing.
I don't agree. This is saying that like you may have hits, but nobody's actually a fan of yours. That's what he's trying to say. Versus the other one, where I would agree with you in that regard. It totally makes sense what you're saying. But here it's more like, yo, you have better numbers than me, but it doesn't mean anything. Sure. I mean, okay. It's not a whatever. I do like when he goes, I'm Leonardo da Vinci. I paint a picture with color. I already got cake. I don't need a butler. We already got Drake, and we don't need another. I don't really got space, but I'm going to eat your supper. Yeah, okay, I'll give it to him. That was fucking fire. Why? Because, A, the Da Vinci approach to being out there and whatever. I do not see Joyner as a Da Vinci type. It's not really a good understanding of who Da Vinci was as a person, but he does paint pictures. So in that regards, yes, I see it. And whatever, he doesn't want more cake. Yeah, I don't believe you. Whatever. We already got Drake and we don't need another. I mean, that's, again, a kind of weird-ass thing. We already got Shady Joyner. We don't need another. I could kind of make the same line back at you. Like, there's a lot of guys who do what Joyner does. And I know Joyner popped recently, and he's kind of hot right now. But I'm not seeing him sticking right now either. I'm seeing him rising, but I've yet to see him hit sticky.
I don't see consistency because, and it's funny because I may have overlooked that line, but like I'm eating my cake, but I'll make space or whatever, right? Or like I don't need yours. But then on the original Lucky You track, he's basically begging people to give him the chance to eat because, you know.
Anyway, I don't know. Go back in the booth, make another love song. What you gonna do when the fucking blunt's gone? Because I wanted all the smoke. I didn't even puff long. I mean, these just almost sound a little bit like generic-y lines. Like, oh, he's an R&B rapper, so go write another love song. You're good at that. You shouldn't come do this lyrical thing. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, this is so basic.
But Tory does make a good amount of love songs,
which is
like,
but like
when you follow Tory's thing, it's like everything that
we're talking about
saying.
A diss song. How's that hard?
I understand, but I'm saying like, okay, so
I mean, are you trying? I know he makes love songs.
I'm not saying that it's hard. I'm saying that it just makes sense. It's weak and corny, but it makes sense. The way that
so it makes sense to have weak and corny lines on your diss song.
No, it just makes sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Like,
so I don't agree that it makes sense because it's a weak and corny fucking line. It's like I'm saying, it's like somebody would go, Holden, you need a haircut. Well, congrats, dog. That was the best diss you have. Like, that's the lame-ass shit. It's basically stay in your lane again. He already said that. He said it several times in this. That's almost the core premise of his diss song, is you don't belong in what I do. But that's not really how disses work. You're supposed to be slamming him and being like, you know what? I don't think it was on this one. I think it was on the other one. He does a great fucking actual tear him apart diss move. And I'll talk about it then. I don't see it here. When he goes double time, it's boring. It's like, wait for it. There it is. Joyner went double time. Mistake. You're in a diss mode. You're trying to do some one-up shit. How are you going to win? He did double time, and you guys kind of came off the same, in my opinion. Neither of you said more. You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, it just... Joyner misplayed this on a psychological level, in my opinion. Me and 6ix9ine had Trippy bitch on the couch. She was giving us a threesome. What? I didn't even know Trippy and Tory were boys. I guess they are. Are they boys? Are they not? Is this just unrelated? I mean, aren't you going in on Tory? Who cares if you're banging Trippy Red's girl with 6ix9ine? Who cares? You know, like, that's not a diss. That's just you name-dropping 6ix9ine to build your clout. It actually shows weakness to me. And I'm sorry, I know that it's a hype track if you're going to shallow listen to it, but we talking about diss songs, and so what you're saying matters more than how you're saying it a bit, you know?
Co-signed Tory. Like, in the sense of, like, Trippy backed him up better than Joyner. So I think that's why, like, he's just name-dropping Trippy for clout, yeah. But
with
I feel
6ix9ine.
Like, right.
You know, this has nothing to do with charges or whether you like 6ix9ine or not.
I personally, though, I think
this is Joyner Lucas selling out a little bit. Hey, look, I got friends with a famous person.
Yeah, Joyner Lucas is selling out, but I don't think that right now in this beef and, like, using Tekashi to sell out is a really good thing. Like,
I don't think anyone knew that the charges were coming when this came out. Because this came out right before he got arrested.
I still don't, even before that, I still don't think it would have been a good move to associate with him when he's the biggest joke right now.
That's a whole other conversation. Honestly, from a business perspective, it's a very different thing, and that's a whole other conversation. I don't agree with the shallow way you put that. Sure. I think if you're saying that Joyner has an ethical brand that he's trying to be a certain way, associating with Tekashi is an odd move. Talking about banging Trippie Redd's girlfriend in a diss song against Tory Lanez is an odd move. That's like if I diss your friend, it hurts you. Like, come on, man. You guys don't even know how it's done, in my opinion. Like, it wasn't. These weren't great disses. The songs are okay. However, I was more like, yo, you can ask Chris from the beginning. You can even check it on my Twitter at HSR514. I was saying Tory from the beginning. I was already feeling it. Hashtag Team Canada. But no, even without the Canada shit, I think Tory really impressed me. And Joyner didn't try very hard. I think he was just having some fun with it. And he instead didn't do a lot of disses, which isn't in the spirit of things, in my opinion. I think he just expected everybody to be like, yeah, Joyner's the best. He does the Joyner thing. Not me. So that's why I know I'm going to get called stupid with bad spelling and get dislikes on this. I know somebody's going to spell right and call me a fucking asshole. I'm going to get dissed. I'm okay with that. I'm not a fanboy. I like what I like, and I like real shit. And I feel like Joyner didn't impress me much here. It's an okay song without the context of the fucking awesome Lucky You freestyle that we got. And if these are all freestyles, which I'm doubting that they're all freestyles, I think these guys wrote some shit down. And if they are all freestyles, why the fuck were y'all freestyling? Write some shit down that's good. That's just, like, do you know what I mean? Like, we shouldn't be, you're putting this on the internet. You're giving us, you basically are saying we, the people, judge. Well, that's my opinion. Don't do freestyles if you are going to say corny things like stay in your lane, dog. Like a good punk doesn't stay in his lane. Like, the people I admire don't stay in their lane. They go in the lanes they're not supposed to. That's a success thing. It's you know what? I'm gonna get fucking done. I'm done. Do you have more to say on this song?
No.
Guess what? Like, really, really soon after, we got Litty again.
Nigga tell me is it Joyner Lucas Joyner, I'm the nigga who destroy your coupe, deploy your label, drop your hoop.
Let's start off with what a really good diss line actually, in my opinion, sounds like. So, in response to what Joyner says, you fucked a lakes man, that shit crazy, out here running threesomes with that's in court dealing with the kid cases. I'ma hit a stain, then I hit a bad one. Pull up on a Hold Him for Ransom. I got 5 plaques this year. You did a whole song with Eminem and still don't even have one. Okay, that's a diss. That's how you go in on a motherfucker. I'm just trying to say, like, if you want to pull out some punches, well done. Because it had to be said, it's a bit of a weird choice to claim a sexual escapade with the guy who pled guilty or no contest or whatever to fucking, you know, the situation as it played out. Simultaneously pointing out that Tory is getting plaques, therefore is earning success, however you feel. I don't know how true that is. I'm assuming he got 5 plaques. I have no reason to doubt him. But it's true. With the song with Eminem, Joyner's really not capitalized much off of that. Yeah, y'all Joyner fans that are here believe Joyner is the shit, but the rest of the world is still going, Joyner who? Lucas Joyner? Joyner Lucas? No, that was good, man. How do you feel about this one?
I think it's cool. I kind of stopped caring about what they had to say at one point, only because it sounds more like just music at this point. It doesn't really sound like anybody's trying to go in. Except
Eminem
for,
couldn't get you to 1 million on the gram. Chris Brown tried, failed both times.
Yes.
I done took your page to 1 million in a day.
Yes.
If you ask me, I'm a motherfucking cosign.
Yes, Tory did go in and
Did you
demolish.
Did you see what he said there?
Yes, I did. I read it.
All these other people helped you, and it was about you, and you couldn't do it. I come in and diss you, motherfucker. See what happens.
Yeah,
That's kind of like
he's owning
do you know what
the battle.
But what he's doing here is he's responding to Joyner's claims of irrelevancy, because
Yes.
Joyner called him out on being irrelevant, and he's pointing out that as much as that's true, look at what I did. Anyway, I really enjoyed that. I feel like hands down, if Tory impressed me on the first song, hearing them both go on this neutral beat, because I believe it's a Meek Mill beat or something, so it's somebody else's beat, hearing them going on this neutral one, especially having not even heard Meek's version of the song, to be honest, so I had nothing to even base off of, hands down, Tory steals the show here. Now, granted, it's the response, so we do need to hear the response. That's very important at this point. But I feel like Tory proved he can rap on like the first one, and now Tory is proving he can diss and go in on a motherfucker. Because this is like 5 minutes, like double the length. And he's fast pretty much the whole song. So he's not even laying down. And he calls out like shit, like, I don't know, I'm sorry if I don't find it right away, but he calls out how shit, like how Joyner went fast. Like, wow, Joyner went fast. And that was my reaction. Like, it's not impressive. It's just kind of what's expected. And it was a very smart move for how Joyner was forced to respond on the next song. Mm-hmm. And he just kind of rolls on through. He calls it on, but his daddy was a failed musician and kind of handed down this curse of chasing music. But it is a curse because Joyner's turning himself into a failed musician is the implication. But he's going in a certain level of personal. I feel like then he goes in a little bit. And there is some filler, but a lot less. Like, he's really, every line seems to be like, damn, my little homie, that's a bad one. Really feel bad for you. It's a sad one. Hold your head steady. Maybe you could have one. Hit me for a hook and maybe get a plaque, young. Okay. So after establishing earlier in the track how he has created more relevancy for Joyner, which is again is because Joyner went there and he's now murking him by using numbers over feelings. See, Joyner played a feelings game. It sounded like what I imagined the people in the bubble sound like. Yo, I'm the shit because 1 million or 2 million people say it, but real numbers don't lie. And to call him non-influential with his success is stupid. Foolish move, because he can then turn around and point numbers out at you kind of like he did. Respectable tactic, in my opinion. Anyway, then he goes on through. That Litty verse was whack. They go hard, but I go harder at your head with the fade like a barber. I guess that's a good line, but I do like the fact that he called out the fact that the Litty verse was whack, whereas Joyner was forced to point out that the other verse was kind of good. You see, like, how the tactics are playing out here. If you really like think about how this beef is going, this is why I'm ending up like I'm saying in the first round. Maybe we can call it 50-50, but I'm still kind of going for Tory because it sounded better to me. Here I'm going Tory. Just right now, Tory's winning when he's dropped.
My own thing is, and I don't know. Is it on the response? Is it on the Joyner response where he goes and suggests they should make a track together?
Maybe. Why don't we wait till the next song and talk about that? But I do like that. This is my son. I'm gonna tell him like Star Wars, Lucas, I am your father.
That was cool.
That's a fucking great line. I don't care what anyone says. It's great things. Buster Rhyme impersonating, worthless baiting, irksome daily. Because these are good criticisms of Joyner if you wanted to like flip it up. Hers to say a burger flipping birth in 80s, trying to be a 90s baby, 30-something, trying to chase it, trying to make it, rock designer, kind of fakes it, hates to face it, that he'll never be, that be placed to A-list. Damn, here's what he's thinking right now. That's a really good way to attack anybody in the 30s acting like this. I'm in my 30s acting like this. If he said that about all of that, there's probably true about me too. I respect that. That's a good fucking diss. That's like cutting to the point. Old man trying to talk a certain way, preach, blah, blah, blah. But at the same time, if you're really about that life, why are you so flashy and this and that, you know?
Right.
And then he does the Joyner impression. And he won the battle, in my opinion. That's when he won the battle. He does the Joyner impersonation, flips his entire inflection to sounding like a good Joyner Lucas clone, but like in a mocking way. I'm Joyner Lucas. Why did I start with this guy? Tory Lanez coming back. What am I going to do this time? They ain't like none of my diss lines. Everybody knows I can spit it quick, even if it's lines as shitty as 6 9s. And the way he's doing it, and he's really playing it like that, I'm like, hey, he did a really good Joyner, and he did it really well. And he was funny about it, and he made fun of the fact that Joyner goes fast and says fucking nothing sometimes, which is the problem when guys go fast a lot and have not necessarily as much to say to fill those bars. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I kind of try to make songs about depression, but nobody ever get it, so I take it out on popping beats now. I never ever trapped, I never slung a gap, but the world don't know that, so fuck it, I'm a G now. And he's calling him out, his attitude's a little bit fake and all this other stuff. And I really enjoy the way that Tory strategically attacked him on multiple angles on this track. Backpack ain't selling no records. Better dumb it down with it when you come around with it. So it's kind of like it's a true statement. Like, this is the way it is. Tory knows that backpacking is not going to make him money, so he chose to do this route.
It really
Hate it or
looks
love
like,
it.
It really looks like Tory took it to another level. Like, and that's the one clear thing that I'm seeing in this battle so far is that Tory actually took the time to, like, call it a freestyle if you want, sure, but I can't not believe that people like Tory didn't sit down and get information on Joyner. Like, just the way that he's kind of going at him, the way that he's bringing out certain punches and shit. It's like, it's kind of similar to what like Pusha T did with Drake and kind of like got some dirt on him. I feel like Joyner didn't do that. Joyner's still going on like, I'm better, I can say whatever I want, the whole emotional thing, whatever,
well, we're not,
and like
we're
support.
not talking about Joyner now, we're talking about Tory.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Tory put more of an effort into creating the songs and creating the diss tracks.
Let me say this, like, Litty again is a 5-on-5. Like, I would say if we want to compare it to like all time, it might not make the big lists. Mm-hmm. But if we wanted to talk about the last decade, this is a really great song. This is a great diss track. This goes in. It makes you laugh. It has creative lines. It brings in real life situations. It crosses some personal lines.
Yep.
It's a good diss, man. And he managed to do it at such a quick cadence that he just made this honestly came off a little more like a kill shot than I was expecting from a Tory Lanez, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, you might want to hate this song if you're a Joyner fan, but I think if you're an objective music fan and you're not about just blind fandom, you have to admit this is a great song, all things considered. Just like you have to admit that the last Joyner, the Litty, it was also good.
Yep.
I think Litty again's a little better. But anyway, that's okay. Joyner, and to give it credit, like, this is all in the same day. He did this the same fucking day, okay? So the first song comes out.
Doesn't he quote that too? He goes, I'm exhausted.
Yeah, back to back, it's the same day.
I have it.
Oh, it's so good. But yeah, he does it. So basically,
I'm exhausted, killed this 2 times, 24 hours, man. This shit been a repetitive day.
Yeah, because he did it, and then he drops the next one in the morning. This comes out later on, and then the next song comes out the following day. But yeah, to me, it's incredible. The turnaround time is incredible. And the fact is you know that this was done relatively quickly just due to the fact that pretty much the whole thing is a response to everything Joyner brought up, effectively dismantling his arguments and his approach and basically showing that Joyner made a bad strategic choice with the song he made for winning the war. Anyway, I really enjoyed this one a lot, as you can tell. How do you feel?
I still like this one. I'm more interested in what they're doing for the diss tracks and how they're becoming creative with it in certain ways. And I think that Tory right now is still in the lead because of the fact that it seems like Joyner's not trying. That's like, as much as I respect Joyner and I like what he does, and you know, he has made some crazy content and he starts debates and stuff, but he's not.
You're saying he didn't try on the last one, or are you including Zeze in this?
I'm including Zeze.
Why don't you just wait till we're talking about Zeze to make that point?
Even the last one, it wasn't like he was trying either.
Okay, like, what about, we're talking about the Joyner song.
No,
Not the
Tory
we're not
song.
talking.
The
yeah,
Tory song is
talking
good.
about the Tory song.
The Tory song's good. I like it.
So if you want to talk about Zeze so badly, now we'll go talk about it.
Catch a shot to your Mercedes door. The bullets fly, you recline like a lazy boy. All you do is cry.
Let's have a little conversation, internet. Just because he kind of, at the very beginning, sounds a bit like how Eminem started the song in terms of a cadence. Like, when he starts off with the flow, I'm picturing Eminem going, "I'm really sorry you want me to have a heart attack. You know, not a track. And here's whatever." That flow is kind of what it sounds like as he starts the song. So I thought that was relevant because we're going to like tie it all in together. I'm a little convoluted today. But and then I got this, like, I'm listening. And then he talks about being truthful and, you know, never making mistakes and rhymes or whatever, being real honest, right? Mm-hmm. And allow me to just find it. So he says, "You ain't from Toronto, put that on the Bible." Now, this means that he's putting his entire integrity and word on this shit, right? Now, if you looked at the Eminem song that, you know, I referenced that he seemed to have copped a little bit of the flow from, Eminem points out that MGK sounded like a goof for mixing up some facts. And if you're going to make a claim like you ain't from Toronto, you're from Brampton, that's an interesting point, okay?
Can't believe this is...
This is the most fucking annoying part of this song to me, because to me it shows like a disrespect to Canadian geography, right?
Yep.
Like, that's very disrespectful, Mr. Lucas, because Brampton and Toronto are technically two separate cities. You're absolutely correct. But the Greater Toronto area is a big area, real big. It's basically the largest part of Canada. It consists of things like Mississauga and a couple others I can't remember the name of because I'm not that great at it. Scarborough, that's another one.
Richmond.
See, these are all Greater Toronto area. So what I would say is, if you were going to say you're not from the city of Toronto in your line, and you want to be real specific with your lyric, you're absolutely right, Joyner. But if you leave it as vague as Toronto, he's from something that has Toronto in the motherfucking name. The Greater Toronto area. It's like, check it. I live in Montreal. And then surrounding Montreal are a bunch of little towns. Like Laval. It's a separate city, technically. But everybody in Laval spends a significant amount of time in Montreal, because why the fuck wouldn't you? It's Montreal. It's bigger. It's got a downtown. It's got all this shit. You're going to have friends. You're going to intermingle. So if anybody from Laval got real famous and said, "I rep Montreal. I'm from Montreal," I mean, you could argue that technically they're from Laval, but it would be kind of a stupid argument in my opinion, because in spirit, they could be from Montreal, and that's a fair statement, because they could have spent all their time in Montreal while living in Laval. In the same way that Brampton is so fucking close to the Toronto fucking airport and everything, like, it's so fucking close that, like, you know, you're really not making a compelling lyric there to put on the fucking Bible, my friend. Not a good look, in my opinion. I kind of took that like, dude, you just sound kind of like, and I know this is one lyric, but he said put it on the Bible, and then called out he's from Brampton. And if you go Google Brampton, the first thing that it says is Greater Toronto Area. And then, you see what I'm saying, guys, on the internet? I know I'm a bit of a whatever, but that's the facts of that. So if you're going to be like that, at least be right, okay? Don't fucking come at some shit and be wrong. Don't even leave room in your argument to be wrong. The baby talk thing, shut up. That's how I felt. Like, that was a dumb part of this song. That was like him trying to do what Tory did with the fucking, like the way he mocked the Joyner flow. And it was just obnoxious. It was just like, oh, you little baby gaga goo goo.
I think it would have been fine if it wasn't as dragged out as he did, because then he's like, oh, matter of fact, give me the toys. That's like, it's like, okay, we get it. He's a kid. Like, you don't need to drill the point home and bury it, and, you know.
And you have no proof that Notorious B.I.G. wouldn't, like, R&B music because he did like R&B music, so it is entirely possible that Notorious B.I.G. would have actually enjoyed listening to Tory Lanez's music. I mean, the idea that he would be offended by that is some big audacity. Like Biggie was an ignorant fuck that didn't have a cultured taste in music. And that's kind of like, that's the thing is I didn't go through anything on the Tory song that actually came off like this to me, where it was just so you know what it is? It's the gimmicky shit to say. Oh,
Yep.
you're named after Notorious B.I.G. He's going to roll over in his grave. That's what, like, Ebro on fucking whatever says. That's, like, old man boring shit. And I personally can't stand that crap because it's so... It's not good responses to the disses that were just leveled against you. Like,
I don't think we should just talk about the dead in any way that doesn't resemble what they did with their
and how the
life
fuck
in a
is
good positive sense.
more to that point? How the fuck are you gonna know what the man was gonna like 20 years later? You don't even know what his music was gonna sound like 20 years later. Just a bunch of motherfucking bold assumptions. Anyway, so yo saying what a great battle, but you were about to see a fucking snake rattle. Not with this beat. No, there was no snake rattling with this beat. Boy, you just a pony with a pink saddle. I'm truly sorry that you stuck inside a Drake's shadow. When you gonna overcome? When you gonna level up? When you gonna grow another foot? When you gonna show us that you number one? Good question, Joyner. When are you gonna do those things? Don't make claims when people can flip. Maybe you're not Drake's shadow, but like, when are you gonna show us that you're number one? You're not number one in your lane. You're in Eminem's shadow. Like, everything that you're saying can be said about you. How is that a good diss? Am I crazy? No, you're either gonna love me or hate me, internet person.
You're not
watching
crazy.
this.
You make a very good point.
Look, man, I'm into the psychology behind this shit. This isn't about maybe the great bars. I don't know that these are great bars because they're not great bars in context of what's happening, even if they're great lines in and of themselves.
Right.
So with that nuance, this is why how you almost signed to Justin Bieber. Allow me to break it down for you. Justin Bieber is a 16-year-old kid that has just popped and is trying to start a label. 17-year-old Tory Lanez is in his line of interest. 17-year-old Tory Lanez meets 16-year-old Justin Bieber, two teenage kids. This kid is worth fucking huge money and blowing up like a motherfucker. This guy's a teenager with a dream. Joyner, what a stupid diss. What, did you think that because Bieber's corny that you could just say Bieber and all of a sudden it's... See, that's the difference, man. Joyner doesn't sound like he did any research or tried, and Tory sounds like he took the time to tear that motherfucker apart. And I gotta say it like that because, yo, how... I'm sparing you, Chris. How on fucking earth does that make sense as a diss? You look like a fucking beaver? That just rhymed. That's why you said that. Does he look like a beaver? I don't even know if that's a diss. Beavers are cool. It's our fucking national animal in Canada.
But see, okay, but like that's kind of cool. That's like,
thanks, man. Thanks.
Like,
are you saying it's cool because it's some Canadian culture?
So okay, so as a Canadian, I take offense to that, and I'm insulted because you're basically calling him ugly. You're basically saying that our national animal is ugly.
Beavers are cute as fuck.
Right, all of that. But coming from trying to be offensive and blah, 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 I'm going to shit on you looking like a shitty, ugly version of your country's animal, whatever. So, like,
hold on. What kind of a diss is your name is Daystar? You use a pseudonym as an artist. What kind of a diss is that?
What
Is it a diss?
I would be...
Sorry, Chris goes by Chris Chrome, and his last name's not actually Chrome. You're equally as diss, dog.
I know. I'm just saying, again, the way I see it is...
Obi Trice, real name, no gimmicks.
The way I see it is Joyner, again, is just trying to be mean. And to Joyner, Daystar seems to be a very weird name.
You know, I think it's the point. It's not. I don't think it's that. I think it's he made the pun because it's Daystar, but I think it's because he goes by Joyner Lucas, which is his name, and so he brings out Tory Lanez is not his real name; it's his artist name, some shit he made up, and so he brings up his government ID name just to be like, "See, I'm realer than you." And then anybody in this beef talking about gangster shit, I don't know. I don't know who's a real gangster or not, so I don't want to talk about that, but none of them sounded that real or whatever. But like he did accuse him of biting bars, and I think because I've talked a lot of shit about Joyner, I have to give him his real props of where he went in. Okay, just to show him fair. The ADHD claim, where he tells you the specific minute in the fucking song to go 2 minutes 50 seconds, it sounds exactly like Art of Pure Pressure, and it does. Okay, I'll give you that, Joyner. Excellent diss. Excellent diss. I'm with you with that. It's perfect. That's what you should have been doing the whole fucking time. No, I don't really have a but. I mean, the part where he tried to be like, so why are you saying you're better than Kendrick when you're copying his style? Mediocre diss, but fine. It followed up your good diss, so I'll allow. But like, it's not like career ending. Like, it's like he doesn't understand the audience he's going against.
Career ending is annoying to me because on one of these songs, whether it's Zeze or it's fucking Litty Freestyle, one of them at the end, he goes, come on, Tory, like, you know, like, I'm paraphrasing, but like, come on, Tory, you know what it is, let's make a track already. And that's where I kind of felt like this isn't a genuine beef. Like, I don't ever see, granted, we had it off camera, maybe whatever, Interscope may have...
That was MGK Eminem.
Right, directed that. But I still do not see any point after that beef that Eminem and MGK are ever going to make a song together. No. Unfortunately, right now, if they come out with a fucking album or collab album, I'm just sitting here like, so
this was a good marketing plan.
Like, yeah, but that's where I have an issue with it, where it's like, why couldn't you just...
I don't have a problem with the marketing
plan.
Why
couldn't you have just done the marketing thing without thinking y'all are beefing?
What are you talking about? Like... I think this was a great way to prove, that Tory and Joyner could make an album together. If we want to just take a quick tangent there. Like, flat out, I don't like this Joyner song. I think it was a miss. I don't want to... If I keep going... Oh,
what, Zeze?
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait, there was one more really fucking great diss he made about the plagiarism and whatnot. And anyway, at the end of the day, when he went in on him about songwriting and just that kind of shit, and he was able to use specifics, I was really appreciative of Joyner's skill at that point. But so many of his disses were just fluff, and I didn't like that. As far as the marketing strategy point of view, which I think is now a more interesting topic, basically, I'd say that you have two choices in 2018 if you're going to make a weird move like that. Maybe they had been talking off camera for a while, and this is completely motherfucking fabricated. But if Joyner Lucas and Tory Lanez were to have dropped an album prior to this, it would have come off in a bad way. Why? Because it's totally fucking Joyner Lucas clout chasing. That's what it'll be coming off as, based on the numbers. But now they've done this beef where, all things considered, Tory Lanez stands the fuck out, and it really looks good. You know, it's a good look, because, in my opinion. And then Joyner fans are going to love Joyner's shit regardless, so he doesn't lose out. But what really happened is more people in the Joyner camp are going to be accepting of Tory, and the people in the Tory camp were never going to like Joyner Lucas anyway, so they don't give a shit. They were never going to care either way. Like, those guys, whatever. They're probably more okay with the fact of everything. But it was really to convince the Joyner fans that this was okay for these guys to be in the same conversation. So fine. I think if there is a corporate ploy, it's that. And if that album comes out, this was the smartest marketing approach to avoid long-term backlash from a customer success point of view. And you got to keep in mind, we're talking about two businessmen. They're rappers, but they're motherfucking businessmen. Don't ever let that, like, slip out. That's what these guys are at the end of the day. Either way, if you want to sum up this beef, straight up, I'm giving a thumbs up to both of the Tory Lanez songs. I'm going to give the Litty a thumbs up from fucking Joyner, but it's a big thumbs down for Zeze for me in terms of a retaliatory not career ending, you're right, it's a stupid term and I should stop saying it, beef ending song. You know why we're not going to get another fucking Tory Lanez song? Because he doesn't have to. Joyner didn't try. And it was so evident how little he tried in comparison. And if maybe that is the only proof that it's freestyles, is how not trying it sounds on the Joyner side.
Well, maybe at least Zeze.
Yeah, it just sounded weak. The baby thing, too much. Anyway, go on. I'm talking too much.
I'm 2 thumbs up for the Tory tracks. 1 thumb up for Litty Freestyle. It was cool, and it was cool. Litty Freestyle was cool because I felt like there was, as much as he may have not have tried as much as he should have or whatnot, there was still somewhat type of passion that I kind of got off of it in response to the first Tory track. So that was like, okay, you're clapping back. It's not as hard, but you're still got that, like, yeah, I'm coming at you. Yeah. Zeze just, It's like you knew you had to respond, so you just did instead of like. Yeah,
I mean,
that's it.
But I feel like he felt like he couldn't go super fast because that had been disarmed.
But like even regard going just super fast, I just like he could have went super fast and actually said something.
But I don't think going fast on this song like that would have been good because at any point it was basically Tory effectively disarmed his ability to just use that as a tactic because it's saying you're being obvious, do something different. So he did. He chose this weird ass beat and he did baby talk. And I'm like, look, if y'all love it, you're allowed. This is my opinion.
It was funny. Like I'll admit, the first
correct
time I heard
spelling
it
in the
funny.
comments, guys. Correct spelling in the comments. Grammar.ly. Check that shit out, yo.
Anyway.
No, we're not done. Because did you know that they did an Instagram live video together?
I did.
Yeah, they did an Instagram live video together. Now, Tory started trying to talk. Joyner cut him off and literally wagged his finger at him and shit for a while and whatever. Tory looked like he was high. He started off with a blunt. And then what I saw was that Tory played this moment like a true boss. Now, Tory knows he's distracting you with his tomfoolery, and he's doing it on purpose. Joyner just sounded arrogant, like he was going to school this guy on Instagram Live. And then, Tory just kind of played him, let him talk a lot, made him sound like whatever. And then he said, can I say something? Can I say something? Can I say something? And you could just tell that, like, Joyner didn't even want to have a discussion. It was just kind of whatever. But Tory held himself with such good composure, and I feel like at the end of the day, Tory was just loving it. He was having the time of his fucking life watching this old man try to tell him how to live and shit, and that's kind of what I enjoyed about it. But it really won't surprise me if we do see some collaboration from these guys in the future, because evidently now they're linked up. They can be buddies and all that other shit. It was just such a corny thing to do this Instagram live video. Like, it was like the great confrontation, and they just kind of said, yo, what's up? Yo, I'm totally your fan. I'm totally your fan. Yeah, but did you really think you can rap? I was like, what are you guys doing? Just shut up. Don't do this. Don't do this. Either way, it made me feel the whole thing was fake. And I enjoyed the sport. It's a good week in hip-hop to have this thing be exciting. It was nice.
Do you think
it's
it
over.
takes away from it, though? Like,
no.
If you feel like it's fake, do you think it takes away from...
Do you like the WWE?
No.
I do. So no, not at all. I think wrestling is an art form in and of itself. And I think a good marketing plan that's fun to watch is just that. It's a good marketing plan that was fun to watch. So I enjoyed this play out. I now respect Tory Lanez. I think Joyner Lucas will probably not get that Grammy that he wants, because while he didn't give up, he believes he's giving up plaques on a quest for Grammys. The way he's playing this out, I don't see them Grammys coming his way anytime soon. I'm not going to lie. Dudes like Tory are probably positioning themselves better for Grammys than dudes like Joyner. If we want to talk about the institution of the music industry and how Grammys are awarded, it isn't given to skill and honesty and purity. It's given to what's popping. Let's just be real. So, if anything, I feel like he convinced me that Joyner is a really Joyner convinced me that Tory is really fucking smart.
Toyner, that's the album name.
Yeah, that's a good album name. Do you guys want to see the Joyner album drop? Hashtag Joyner. Go up there. Let's get a hashtag going.
Hashtag Joyner 2019.
Joyner 2019. Let's do it. Anyway, that's it for me. I really enjoyed talking about this. I really enjoyed this. I hope we get more of these silly little beefs coming in. To me, it's like a good hockey game or sports or whatever. I don't take it too seriously. It's all fun. Remember, correct spelling in the comments when you diss me. And let's go, Chris. Your little summary?
The beef was okay. I just found out on Twitter that a day ago, apparently Tory is starting beef with Pusha T. So,
oh shit!
Yeah, let's just be clear. Now I kind of have another thing. Like, is Tory just gonna call everyone out now to prove a point, or is this another?
Do we get to see some good shit like that? Well, I guess if you know, you know.
So anyway, that's my summary of all this. It comes down to, look, if this is some big marketing scheme to get you guys to collab with each other and to have, Toyner 2019, then
hashtag
realistically, just make the album and we will review it on Headspace and we'll tell you how we feel track by track and delve into.
I want to hear these guys make this album.
As per beefing wise, Tory bodied Joyner. I at first was like, nah, I don't believe it. I kind of wasn't really into Tory. It was outplayed. Like I said, I've been listening to him for the last 2 years. I know Tory, but
But Tory's got a million flows.
yeah, and he proved it, and he bodied him, and I don't. That's
That's
it.
cool. Thank y'all for watching, for real. Let us know in the comments what you thought. Whatever you want to say. I look forward to interacting with you with a smile. On top of that, let's give a special thanks to the patrons: Ismail Dempsey, Chris Prado, Super Old School 1994, and Lindell Williams. They support us directly, so if you want to see us review a particular album or we'll include talk about a particular thing, you can join the request pool where once a month you pick what we do, and that power is yours. And when you sign up, you get a free pick that we knock out the following month, and that's what's up. You also get access to some content early when we're on time and all that other good shit. And you can help us grow, so it's better cameras and cooler angles and not such an ugly room and all the fun things of improving in life. Anyway, I'm in a good mood. I hope y'all are in a good mood. Go Team Canada. I think Canada bodied this shit, so that's what's up. Have a great fucking day.